Okay. Hey, everybody. Today is a different day for me just because I usually say, oh, I'm so excited. Um, that we have on today is Lawanda Crawford. And quick story. We met years ago in a small little town called Terrell. We were working and I think at that time we were like looking and trying to go into leadership and then making sure we were getting our grind on with working.
Yes.
But I learned so much from her. She taught me really how to up my skills as a nurse and up my level of professionalism. And she also showed me what it meant to just be dedicated to your family and also just to excellence. She gave me some tips on my hair, and gave me tips on, hey, you need to relax a little bit and enjoy yourself. But she also taught me a lot about mommying, and I think that I probably don't tell her enough how much I appreciate her for that. And then later on down in life, we ended up kind of let's just say she called me and told me she was marrying my cousin. So I was like, what? Like, y'all know each other, So it was just so funny. So we have had a chance to reconnect and just just up the level of friendship and now family, and then I got a call one day to tell me she told me about her experience with breast cancer, which is mainly the reason why we're here today is because when she told me her story, I was taken aback, first of all, because I know her so well. But the other part was just like, wow, I see myself in her, and that just meant like cancer wasn't this thing that was so far away. It meant that like any woman I knew at that time, or myself could be included in the numbers because that's what we look at all the time are the numbers, one in something of this or two and five of this, and she made me understand that cancer was more than just a number. So welcome, Miss Lawanda,
Thank
and
you. Thank
just
you.
let's just start with just telling us what you want to know about, I guess, finding out about you when you had breast cancer.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, John, for having me and allowing me this platform just to share my story. Um, it's one of many. And if any way that I can encourage, inspire, or motivate women to go out and get tested, do their monthly breast examination, I am all for that. And I think this is a subject that's not talked about enough throughout the years. More so, people think of breast cancer awareness the month of October. I want women to be aware of how their breasts feel and to do their monthly breast examination throughout the year. We should know how our breasts feel in March and not just in October. And to also know that there are different resources throughout the year that are available for women to go out and have their mammograms. So once again, thank you for giving me this platform. So I guess I'll just start off with when I found out I had breast cancer and what led up to my mammogram. I can just say, like I said earlier, my story is one of many. For me, I go every year for my mammograms, typically the same time every year, so I don't forget to do all my wellness checks that particular month. And mine is the month of November, where I typically do all my wellness examinations. And so from the time of 40, getting my first baseline mammogram, I've always done it every single year. Now, this one particular weekend, it was actually right after Thanksgiving. I was just, lying in bed, watching TV, watching a movie, no particular thing was going on. And I just happened to first, let me back up. Most women, when we're just lying in bed, we don't have our bra on, we're just, laying there. So that's what I was doing, watching TV. And I just happened to lay my right hand just right here, on my breast. And while I was watching TV, and I felt the lump. And for me, I did not do monthly examinations like I should have, but I did them enough to know that when I felt that, it was different and it had not been there before. So from there, I was actually, I would say 4 or 5 days away from having my yearly mammogram. So that weekend, I constantly just kept feeling my breast, doing my examinations. And one thing that I noticed was that it didn't go away. And that's one of the key things with breast cancer. If you feel a lump or feel something there, for cancer, it doesn't go away. The lump stays there. It doesn't move. And it's typically not painful. So if you feel your breast, a lot of women have dense breast tissue and they have fibrocystic or cysts. And so with those, when you do your monthly examinations, they move around, and that's common. But for something that's a mass or a lump, it stays in the same place. And that's what I felt. And I knew immediately that it was something new and it was something that had not been there before. So 4 or 5 days later, when I went to have my mammogram, I told the lady at the front desk what I had felt. And she immediately said, if it's truly a lump there, we need to do a different type of mammogram, which is called a diagnostic. And so I went in a couple of days after that because I had to be rescheduled. Went in there and still kind of nervous because I knew that this was something new. And from there, we did the diagnostic. Typically the radiologist is sitting back in another room looking at, all of the film as they go through. And he had called into my, the technician that was doing the mammogram, and was telling her to do different angles, different slides, because I was able to show her where I felt. And so of course they took pictures of that area. And shortly after we finished everything, we went in and we did the sonogram, and then the doctor walks in. And then the first thing they said, "Oh, is anybody here with you today?" And so of course my husband came back, and I'm just sitting there. I am a healthcare provider. And so I kind of, in the back of my head, I'm thinking, okay, this isn't good. So we did the sonogram, and just looking right there at the picture, on the sonogram, and my doctor was very good at, pointing out different things. And it was just the way it looked, it was just textbook perfect for a breast cancer mass. And he told me right then that through his expertise, he really felt that it was going to be positive for breast cancer. And when I heard those words, my heart just immediately, dropped. Because I have always been on the other end, giving that news to patients, and then to hear those words that I had cancer, and it's like, wow, big wow factor. A lot of different emotions that came through right then, tears, like, what's next in my life? What are we going to do? So immediately right after that, my doctor said, if you can stay, we'll go ahead and do the biopsy, to get confirmation. So we stayed, we did the biopsy, and then he called me the next day and said that, yes, there were several of the tissue samples that they got did have cancer in it. And again, to hear those words, I can tell you the time and date it was, where I was, what I was doing. who was there with me. It's something that I never thought that I would go through and experience in my lifetime. So getting that news definitely changed my life. It changed my family's lives. And because it's not just me that has cancer, it's my family, because we're all going, through this together. So so that's basically how I found out.
Okay. Well, one thing that I've thought about, especially since you've been talking, is let's just make this, let's call this a break. And then we'll continue our conversation because it's a heavy topic.
Yes, it is.
So one of the things I'm hoping that you all will do is like join me in a series, because I think we can break this up into bite-sized pieces, if that makes any sense at all, because it's heavy. So we will just continue with another episode after this one, okay? If you're okay with that.
Sounds great.
Okay.
Thank you.